Number 3 on our agenda this afternoon is the mayor's report. I don't have a fully lengthy or too lengthy of a report to start with. We'll go ahead and kick it off here on the 9th, where we did have a MAC EDC board meeting. On the 10th of March, Task Force 21 members were up at Minot Air Force Base to meet United States Air Force Major General Andrew Gabera, who's the commander of the 8th Air Force. Yet another opportunity for very high-ranking United States Air Force general who has been visiting Minot Air Force Base to talk about the missions and talk about the continued support. So it was a great evening once again to continue to support our folks that serve in the United States Air Force up at Minot Air Force Base. On the 11th, then, we did have a discussion about the Husfest Sister City relationship. This is with actually some of the folks from Epic who are going over to Norway, actually one person who is going over to Norway to talk about the Sister City relationship as well as the return of the Norse Husfest. So that was an update on that information. We hope to actually have a little more to bring back to City Council and perhaps even the idea of a collective or collaborative council meeting between Skien, Norway, and the City Council here from Minot at the same time. I will tell you, though, the time difference, it will not be in the evening here or there. So we'll have to keep our eyes and ears open on how that progresses. On the 12th, then, I did MC the 2022 Polar Plunge for the fundraiser for the Special Olympics of Minot. I want to say thank you to everybody who showed up and jumped in the cold water to raise money for that event. There was a good amount of people that showed up for that, and some really unique costumes. And I think it was even one of our firefighters who won the cannonball or diving splash contest. So thank you to the firefighters, the police department, and all of the city employees who also showed up and lent their support. Then that evening, I was down in Bismarck for the Super A state tournament. I don't need to reiterate again, but of course, Minot being title town for the state A came back with the boys and girls state championships. Hope to have more discussion very shortly also on come before council so that we can decide on the recognition for our different state champions, both athletic, academic, and extracurricular. On the 14th, then, we did have a regular Task Force 21 board meeting. I did attend some of the state boys basketball tournament while it was in town here at the Minot State University Dome. I wasn't able to make it to championship night as I was down in Bismarck again, but for some other MC activities outside of my mayoral duties. 21st was Ward County Weed Board. On the 21st, then, we did have the GBSD, which is Ground-Based Strategic Deterrent Missile Community Leadership Connection. We had the city manager, Alderman Janser, who is chairman of Task Force 21, on a Zoom meeting with the mayors and either the chief of staff or city managers from both Wyoming and from Great Falls, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Great Falls, Montana. Of course, this is the process where they're changing out, the United States Air Force is changing out its entire silo system from the Minuteman III missiles over into the new age, which is GBSD, and some of the challenges that go along with that. They're talking in regards to 4,000 different contractors over 5 to 7 years at each place. Minot is last in that stand-up. What we are expecting sometime around 2029 to 2030 is that 4,000 folks coming into this general area for the period of 5 to 7 years and having to stand up, not just having the ability to house, but also maintain with the different services that are going to be required for that. There is a good amount of information that is available online, and we are watching what F.E. Warren and Cheyenne, Wyoming are doing first and learning from the Great Falls folks, and plan to continue those communications and bring that back to council if any direction is needed to help process that as we get closer in the future. On the 21st, then, I did have the opportunity to go ahead and record a couple of the announcements for who is coming to the Norse Coast Fest. They did that announcement here over the last week and a half, so it's great to see the folks that are putting that together and seeing that big venue return to Minot here coming this fall. Then on the 22nd, I did go down and testify before the State Water Topics Committee down in Bismarck. Final page here is We did have some discussions with CDBG, NDR projects update with the North Dakota Commerce Department. A quick reminder here that we have not been audited for a number of years from HUD. We are expecting that coming up this year, so we do have staff that are gearing up for that, and certainly some of that discussion now with the North Dakota Commerce Department is helping lead some of that movement. On the 30th, then, we did go through for the executive director candidate interviews on the MAC EDC. We hope to have some revelation on how those went here in the very near future. Then on the first, city manager and I did meet with some of the local XL leadership as well as one of the board members for an update on what's going on in the community. And then this past Saturday, I did have the opportunity to go downtown and put the crown on Milena Strand, who is Miss North Dakota Teen Volunteer of the Year. That was for the crowning of the achievement recognition. The reason that was purposeful is because there isn't a pageant for that in North Dakota. And it was actually Miss Strand who was identified on TikTok through the pageant folks, and then convinced her to submit an application and all of the work that she's done. I know the Minot Daily News did a great story on her in today's paper on that, so if you get an opportunity. But Ms. Strand will then go on actually to the national competitions here coming up I believe it's even next month, to compete on the national level, and then hopefully bring back some of her different platforms, which is volunteerism, and help push that more within the community. So with that, outside of those, I did have more than 22 other meetings regarding city business, as well as phone calls, emails, social media, and staff interactions. I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody does have any on my interactions or meetings. If not, I do have